Hey guys, welcome back. So this week is the Undead Week, and I've got a Baron Rivendare list for you guys. So this is not actually my list; it's a list from one of our guild member and my best friend, Chris the Cave. And yeah, it's a pretty fantastic list. It uses the power of Baron Rivendare, which is, in my opinion, one of the best leaders in the game. And yeah, we're gonna play a lot of other units to complement Baron Rivendare, to use him in the best way possible, right? So yeah, let's get into it. But just before we do so, if you guys love the content, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, let's get into it. So what does Baron Rivendare do, right? So he's an undead leader, and he has the ability of spawning some skeleton every couple of seconds. I think it would be maybe 10 seconds. I'm not too sure about the exact time, but we can see here in the video there's a small skeleton that is going to spawn, right? But actually, in this list, what we are going to do is that we are going to play the Chill of the Grave talent, right? So in this game, you can choose a talent. You have the option of choosing one of all of these 3 talent. But please, guys, pick Chill of the Grave talent. I think this is probably the best talent in the game, period, right? So what does it do? Chill of the Grave, that it summons skeleton mage instead of warriors, right? So we can't see it in the image, but we'll see it in the gameplay a little bit further. But yeah, it spawns skeleton mages, which freezes enemy and our ranged units. So it's really good because in this list, we have a little bit of anti-air, but we don't have that much. And for stuff like harpies, so all of the different riders, while the skeleton mages are going to be able to defend against these ones. And also just the freezing ability is very, very huge. A lot of the times skeleton mages are going to help with defending. They're going to get aggroed instead of another unit. Let's say you want to sneak a miner, well then the skeletal mage is going to get aggroed instead. There's just so much value just behind your whole push. Just having 1 or 2 skeletal mage can apply so much pressure. And yeah, when you're playing Baron Rivendare, it's actually a skeletal mage that's going to spawn at every single turret, right? So the gameplay is, or the best play to do with Baron Rivendare is to take as much turret as possible because you're going to have so much pressure on our opponent, right? So yeah, take Chill of the Grave, awesome talent. And yeah, so also Baron Rivendare has a lot of other unique traits. First of all, he's armored. Armored reduces all damage by 50% from physical damage or normal damage. I'm not sure how they call it right now. Which is really, really good against a lot of different units that are armored, right? So like the Huntress can be really, really good, especially against our deck. The Huntress is really good. She does some splash damage, so the splash damage is going to kill all our swarmy units. This deck is a lot of swarm units, but Baron Rivendare is really good against her, right? So he's armored. He's also a fast unit, which means he moves really, really quickly, which is really good because he's going to catch up to our push really quickly, even if we play it like at our base later on. So yeah. Baron Rivendare is one of the best leaders, one of the greatest unit in the game, or leader. But what are we playing to complement it, right? So first of all, we're playing the Ghoul. The Ghoul is my favorite unit in the game. I think he's the best unit. I would put him in S tier when I'm going to do a tier list. So yeah, the Ghoul feeds off enemies that are fail, right? So we can see here in the video, the Ghoul is going to eat. It's going to heal back his health. This is really good because it's a good tank to work with those skeletal mage. So if you just play a Ghoul by itself with a skeletal mage, it's really fantastic because the skeletal mages are going to be the back line, the Ghoul is going to be the front line, and that's a super cheap push, a 2 gold push. So the Ghoul is really, really good. We also have the Gnoll Brute, which has a similar use in this list, but we have some AoE, right? So this unit does cleave, so he does like splash damage in front of him, which means it's really good against other swarmy units, right? So Gnoll Brute is really good. I think he's also a really consistent unit. But if you guys have like another unit which is similar, you can play it instead of the Gnoll Brute. I have the talent which is Rabbit, which means you can play him for 2 instead of 3, which is really, really good. And I like to cycle my unit, especially with the current modifier in the PvP, which makes so every time you play your hero, he gets an extra level. So having more cycle is better. But if you guys want to play something else, Gnoll Brute is probably the first thing to swap in this list. Next up, we have the Pyromancer, okay? So the Pyromancer is really important because he does some good splash damage, which is really, really important in this list. We have the Flamewalker, which costs a little bit more, but the Blackrock Pyromancer is very important because he attacks air. The Flamewalker doesn't. So against Harpies, against Griffin Riders, against some Drakes, the Pyromancer is going to be useful to take down anything that is in the air. So next up, let's move to the Flamewalker, right? So the Flamewalker, just a little bit like the Pyromancer, does splash damage, but deals so much more splash damage, and he's a really good unit in a defensive push. As a backline by himself, he's really fantastic if there's no air unit, obviously. But yeah, the Flamewalker, I really like to play him in the back of my base, try to like support him with a ghoul, with a gnoll, with our Baron Rivendare or something like that. And he's going to be an extremely powerful defensive unit, which is going to convert into a great push afterwards, right? So you can get so much value for 4 gold. You can defeat some push, which are going to be like 8 and 9 gold just by himself. And you're going to have a gold lead, play your Baron. Baron's going to move past your Flamewalker. He's going to tank, and then the Flamewalker is going to do so much more damage. Our opponent is not going to have gold. Anyway, Flamewalker, really fantastic unit. Yeah. Next up, Execute. So Execute is really important in this list because we have some issues against a lot of different units here, especially like the Gargoyle, right? So we do have some elemental damage with the Pyromancer, which is really good to attack the Gargoyle, but it's more of a splash damage unit. We do have the Spear Troll to deal with some other air units, which are really good, but if we're against some units which are armored and aerial, well, then the Pyromancer is not enough, and that's why Execute is really good, right? So the Spear Troll is going to deal 50% less damage against a Gargoyle, let's say, and so the Execute is going to be really good to deal with all of those huge units. Another example is like Abominations. Abominations are huge units which can really easily counter our list. But Execute really destroys all of the Abomination for only 3 gold, plus just a few skeletal mages, if maybe a ghoul or something is going to be enough to defeat Abomination, which costs 6 gold, right? So really worth it. I also really love the Execute spell because it deals so much damage to turrets. So if you're missing just a little bit of damage to a turret, you just execute it. Which can be really important. If your opponent plays something next to his turret, you can, and you have your full gold, you can execute a turret and that unit, which is going to give you a good advantage before the battle even start. And then finally, we have the Spear Troll, so the Dark Spear Troll. Like I mentioned, Dark Spear Troll is really good against aerial unit. That's why we have it in this list. He's really important. Aerial units, aerial list counters are ours, but the Dark Spear Troll with the Pyromancer and Execute are going to be your main tool against all of those aerial units, right? We have to protect him with maybe like a ghoul, a gnoll, or something like that in front of it. But nonetheless, really powerful, really high damage, really useful unit. And his range is very huge. He does just so much damage. But yeah, so guys, this is the list. It's a really freaking good list. I really suggest you guys try it. We have the Undead week, so you can play in PvE if you want to upgrade your troops. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. We'll jump into some PvP games just now, and I'll see you guys there. All right, so we're playing against another Baron list. So he immediately goes for pressure with a Banshee and his Baron. So we can see here the chest is already took by one of our skeletons. Hopefully the Banshee hits the ghoul. So we have the skeleton mage talent while our opponent doesn't. So we have a little advantage here. So we do apply a lot of pressure here on the right. The left is still unattacked. We're gonna put a Pyromancer. We should be able to clear. We're gonna take the right turret here with the Pyromancer, but there goes the Flame Walker to defend. The Baron Rivendare is pushing. Here we are gonna execute to apply some damage to the Baron Rivendare. He leveled up, so he has that other talent, I believe. Or he healed by sacrificing one of his skeleton, maybe. So I'm gonna defend left now that the right is cleared. Our opponent still doesn't want to surrender the right turret. We stole his chest, which is huge. We're gonna send a Flame Walker to assist the middle and a Miner. We're gonna have to get that side objective gold in the middle. Hopefully our Miner can make it through. He does. But he's gonna get trampled by the wolf here. We're trying to calm down the pace so that we can take an advantage. We're gonna put our own Baron here to defend against his. And we're gonna send another Miter middle here. Our Skeleton Mage is doing a lot of work. Left is still unthreatened. We have our Miner here in the middle, so we are gonna push on the left so that our Miter can safely reach that gold mine. We have a lot of pressure here on the right. We might execute here just to add a little bit more damage on the turret. And we are going to further support here. The Baron Rivendare is going to charge. With his fast straight, he can come back into action really easily. He's going to put pressure on the Huntress here. And we're going to start to put pressure to end the game here. We're going for the knockout win. And this is going to be it. Against another Baron Rivendare here. All right. Next up, we're against a General Drakisath. He already plays his leader now. We once again don't have to because of our Skeleton Mage. The Angry Chicken Army isn't a threat to us. We're going to place a Gnoll here. And we might need to execute here. Yeah, we will execute just to win the push. And now we're going to send a Ghoul middle. The Flame Walker by itself is not that much of a threat to our turret. So we're sending a Ghoul. And our Miner, we're going to try to get gold lead here. I'm playing the Spiritual to try to hit the Miner. We're going to put a Baron Rivendare here. There's nothing supporting the General Drakisath. However, he has the resistant trait, so the Flame Walker doesn't do much. However, the Skeleton Mage are bringing a lot of value here by freezing our opponent. I'm going to execute here just to have some damage on the turret. I'm going to play the Baron Rivendare, which charges it to battle. I'm going to kill the Flame Walker. So we take the turret, but are we going to be able to take the unit? We will because of the Skeleton Mages. We're going to send the Miter middle. He can't really contest middle because we have now the top left turret. However, he might push on the bottom right, but we are going to do a hard push. Our Baron Rivendare is applying pressure. We have our execute at the ready. If he drops his General Drakisath, we don't have enough to finish the game right now. A Flame Walker is going to be good against those chicken. We need something to tank for the Flame Walker. Hopefully the Ghoul is going to get aggroed. It doesn't, unfortunately. However, we have such a gold advantage that there's nothing our opponent really can do. We have the execute. We are going to execute. And we should be able to end the game right now. All right. We are against a Hogger here. Once again, we won't push for the chest. Their harpies are here, but our skeleton mages do attack harpies, which is going to budge them up for our turret to take it down. Our opponent is putting a lot of pressure here. He's going middle, so we're going to put our Pyromancer and our Ghoul middle. They should be able to clear with the AoE of the Pyromancer. We should be able to clear the push pretty easily. We do get poisoned a little bit. Our opponent is still pushing middle, so we are going to go ourselves for a push on the right. We're going to put a Flame Walker to defeat the Hogger if we can. He has a Miner. We're going to try to defeat the Miner middle. And we are sending our own Miner here. We do get the chest. We're going to send our Bear Rivendare because his Hogger is getting bigger and bigger because of the current modifier this season. The turret is still locked on the Ghoul, which is bad for a Pyromancer, but our Baron did get some good value here. We should be able to take the turrets, but do we have enough to secure it? I don't know. I'll put a Baron here. I think this will be enough to secure here. Our opponent did a push on bottom right, but it wasn't enough. Just a skeleton mage by themselves were enough to defend. And now we are still gonna put some units because our opponent is not surrendering the top left turret, so we still need to fight it until it's fully built. Is this gonna be enough? I don't know. I'll put Baron Riven there to further put pressure. We'll keep going. We'll keep cycling. We have more gold than our opponent because we're holding off the middle. The turret does get finished, and now we can slow it down. His turret took a lot of damage here. We're just gonna go for the kill. The turret does apply a lot of pressure to all our weak units, but I think we have enough with the execute here to end this Hogger list. So Hogger is really, really good right now in the meta because of the trait, or the modifier, which makes that every time you play your hero or your leader, he's getting an extra level. And Hogger is all about cycling your leader, right? So Hogger is really good right now in the meta, but nonetheless, we got the win. Let's get into the next one. All right, we are now playing against an old Murkai list, which I've been told old Murkai is really good, but I still haven't lost to it yet. So we'll see how we can do. Everyone's against my take that old Murkai is not good. We'll see here. I have a message from my Discord guild. If you guys are looking to join a guild, we are really active. Join my Discord, message me. I'd rather have people who are on Discord. All right, we already take the right turret. I think we're just gonna go for the win here. We're gonna go for the minor middle. I mean, our opponent really doesn't have any answer to our plays. For me, I really believe Baron Rivendare is much better than old Murkai. I mean, not only did we not lose to Old Murkai, but we just destroyed him. Let's get into the next one. Next up, we're against a Jaina here. A Jaina list.
What's the plan?
He drops the Jaina. We are going to play our Baron here. We don't know what our opponent is going to do as of yet. We're going to send everything middle, or actually just the Baron here. And we are going to get ready for a defensive play. If we hit the Griffin Rider, we are good. We don't even have to add anything else. Our opponent is pushing here with our Ghoul. We need some anti-air. We're going to put our Pyromancer here. We're going to put our Miner here, middle. Hopefully he won't get attacked by the wolf. We're going to put our Gnolled Brute. We are applying a lot of pressure here. We got the top left turrets. And then we are going to put our... Oh, a Huntress here, I see. We're going to wait a little bit, put our Ghoul here. The turret does lock on the Huntress, so that our Ghoul is perfectly placed. Hopefully we get our Ghoul to survive. He's going to heal up because of his ability. We are going to put our Baron Rivendare here. This is a big push from our opponent. We are not going to execute. We don't. These aren't really high health unit. We have so many skeleton mages here. I mean, there's nothing our opponent can do. He unfortunately played his Jaina too early. I'm going to play the Huntress, even though it's not going to do much for gold advantage. It did apply some damage to our opponent's turret. So now if we cycle twice to the execute, we should be good here. We are going to play our Baron Rivendare, which is now level 8. Our opponent did take our bottom right turret, but I don't think we care. We're applying so much pressure. We're going to execute. We're going to end this game against this Jaina list. All right, we're playing against another Old Murkai list here. Okay, so our opponent is playing Goblin Sappers. So a big Horde list here, I would assume, with the Old Murkai. Maybe something to Bloodlust, I would assume. The Goblin Sappers are going down that easily. I think we are just going to push immediately for the tower. The Old Murkai is played. We're going to play the Pyromancer to try to hit the Miner. We do hit the Miner. We do get the turret. Our Skeleton Mage by itself does so much work. It's crazy. We are going to push hard on the left here. We are weak against any aerial units right now, such as Harpies. So I'm playing a Spear Troll. So now that we know that he does have Harpies, we are going to focus more on our Dark Spear Troll. Or so we are good here. We have such a gold advantage here on our opponent. We play everything here. We're going to play our Spiritual here. Where are the Harpies going to drop? We need our Pyromancer. I guess we don't, because we're going to secure another win here against another Old Murkai list. All right, we're playing against a Karen list here. This is going to be our last game. Our opponent is playing the Rider. He's going to push right, so You're going to start a defensive play here. We're going to have to put Baron Rivendare in front. We need some Empire here. Can our Miter get hit by the Banshee? The Flame Walker does, unfortunately. So our opponent did do a good push here. We're going to try to play in a more defensive position. So we play our Gnoll here. We're going to play a Spear Troll. And we're going to play a Baron on the right so that our Spear Troll is protected. We're going to play a Flame Walker behind to defend. We're going to play our Ghoul. All right, we are in a good position here. We're going to play a Pyromancer. We are going to push for the middle. We want to sneak a Miner inside of here. If we can get our Miner through, we're going to be in a good position. We are. Does our opponent have an answer for our Miner? I don't know. We did get 1 gold from a Miner. We do get another gold from a Miner. Our Spear Troll is going to destroy the Rider. And now we are going to be able to push the left lane. The Banshee hits a Skeleton Mage, which is perfect. And we should be able to secure the top left turret here. We're going to play a little bit defensive. We do get some damage on our opponent's base. We need to sneak another Miner soon enough. So we're going to try to defeat these units. We do. Let's put our Miner now. And let's put a Baron Rivet there so he gets aggroed instead of the Miner. The Miner gets destroyed, unfortunately. But our opponent is taking so much damage here. We're going to now push on the bottom right turret. Our Baron Rivet there is applying even more pressure. Our opponent is not defending at all. I think just an execute here is probably going to be enough. We need a little bit extra damage here. And we are going to secure the win here by playing defensive at the end. We just had so much pressure from those Skeleton Mages that we were able to win here. But yeah, guys, this is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always. And yeah, I hope it helped. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.